This is the Roulette Master, and I cannot wait to introduce you to the incredible new Dormant Streets Roulette system by Todd Hoover. He said this is incredibly safe and effective, and you're not going to believe how awesome this new roulette system is. So we're going to put this system today in a head-to-head matchup with Fibonacci 12, and it's going to go first, and I can't wait to see which one makes the most money in 15 minutes. So let's place those bets and get started. And with Fibonacci 12, we're going to be playing the dozens, and we're going to be picking the one that's the longest since it's hit, which would be, in this case, third 12. And let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. This is Fibonacci 12 first. Dormant Streets coming up. Should be a great battle today. And that's a nice $20 win to start. We will go ahead and now be on second 12 for $10. And here we go. All right, let's see what we get here. That's a 6 black. And we lost that one, so our second bet will also be $10 on second 12. And here we go. All right, so the first bet and the second bet are the same, and that's an 8 black. Okay, we lost again. Now we add up those two first bets of 10 and 10, and now we have a $20 bet on second 12. All right, here we go. That's a 21 red, and we got it. All right, so we're already up $40, and we'll be on third 12 now for $10. And let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 2 black. Okay, we lost that one, so let's just repeat that bet of $10 on third 12 and spin. All right, let's see if we get a high number here. And we did not. That's a 12 red. So now we add up the two first bets of 10 and 10, and we'll have a $20 bet on third 12. And let's see what we get here. Let's see if we can get a high number. And we did. That's a 36 red. All right, so we're up $60. We'll be on second 12 now for 10, and let's spin. So what we're doing here is adding up our two previous bets for our next bet, and we're betting on the dozen that's been the longest since it's hit. Let's repeat that bet of $10 on second 12, and here we go. That's a 00. Okay, so now we will add the first two up of 10 and 10, and we'll have a $20 bet on second 12. Here we go. That's a 28 black. And we lost that, so now we're going to add up the two previous bets of 20 and 10. So that means we have a $30 bet on second 12. So let's see how we do with that and see if we can get a second 12 hit. And we did. That's a 24 black. All right, fantastic. That's a $60 win. We're up $80. And let's go ahead now, and we'll be on first 12 for $10. And here we go. Okay, that's a 21 red. Okay, we lost that. Let's repeat that bet. And this is a great way to make money playing a single dozen for sure. And this one did really well in the Roulette Master Bracket Challenge. Okay, our first two bets of 10 and 10 failed, so we'll add those together. And now we'll have a $20 bet on first 12, and let's spin. All right, we got it. That's a 7 red. Okay, $40 win, up $100, and we'll be on third 12 for 10. All right. That's a 27 red. Win right out of the gate there. Now we're up $120. And let's go ahead and spin. And this system will definitely make a lot of money, but Todd Hoover says he has a safer progression and a different bet selection, and I can't wait to share that with you. And it won't be using dozens, so we'll be using double streets on his system today, and I can't wait to share that with you. It's called Dormant Streets, and there's another nice win. So we're up $130, and we'll be on first 12 now for 10 and spin. And here we go. And we got it. That's a 4 black. Fantastic. So we're already up $150, and we'll go to third 12 for 10 and spin. And this is Fibonacci 12, and here we go. That's a 29 black. Fantastic. So we're up $170. We'll be on second 12 for 10 and spin. All right. And we got it. That's a 14 red. Okay, we're up $190. So let's go ahead now, and we'll be on first 12 for 10. And let's see if we can get a low number here. And we did. Fantastic. Okay, so we're up to 10. We'll be on third 12 for 10 now. All right, let's see if we can get a high number. That's a low number, so we lost that one. So we'll repeat that bet of 10. So we'll have a second bet of $10 on third 12. And here we go. And this is a $2,000 bankroll system. If you want to play for a $200 bankroll, you can use dollar units. If you want to play a $1,000 bankroll, use $5 units. So there's a lot of options there. We'll repeat that bet on third 12 for $10, and let's spin. And we lost again, so let's add up 10 and 10. And we'll have a $20 bet on third 12. You can see the last one that hit was the 29 down there at the bottom. And here we go. That's another loss with a 9 red. So we'll add up 20 plus 10. That's a $30 bet on third 12. And let's see what we get on this one. That's an 8 black. Okay, we lost, so we add up the two previous bets of 30 and 20. That's a $50 bet on third 12, and let's see if we can get a high number. And we did. That's a 30 red. Fantastic. $100 win. We're up $230. Just cruising right now with Fibonacci 12. And I can't wait to see how much money this makes and how much we make with the new Dormant Streets by Todd Hoover, and that's a 31 black. Okay, we'll repeat that bet of $10 on second 12 and spin. Here we go. That's a 3 red. We lost that, so let's add them together. Now we'll have that $20 bet on second 12. And I'm pretty sure this came up runner-up in the Roulette Master Bracket Challenge. So a really good way to play a dozen. And we're up $250. And let's see where I'll be on third 12 for $10 this time. And that's a 27 red. Fantastic. So we're up $270. And we'll be on first 12 for 10. And let's spin. And we lost that one with a 20 black. All right, we'll repeat that bet of $10 on first 12 and spin. And we lost again, 35 black. All right, let's add up the two previous bets of 10 and 10. I love how simple it is figuring out the next bet. All you have to do is use simple addition, and you have your next bet. Okay, that's a $20 loss. So we're going to add up 20 plus 10. $30 total on first 12. All right, here we go. That's a 3 red. And we got it. So we're already up $290. And we'll be on second 12 for 10. Okay, that's a 34 red. And we'll repeat that bet of $10. See if we can get a second 12 hit here. And we did not. That's a 29 black. So we'll add 10 plus 10. That's a $20 bet on second 12. And again, so easy to remember your next bet because all you have to do is do simple addition. And there we got the win. That's a $40 win. We're up $310. Let's go to first 12 for 10 and spin. And with the new Dormant Streets coming up by Todd Hoover, he says it's a much safer progression and better bet selection. So I can't wait to share that with you. And it's a double street system. We're not playing dozens. So let's go ahead and spin. And we'll repeat that bet of $10 after that first loss. And that's a 13 black. We almost got it in the first 12, but we didn't. So we'll add that together, 10 plus 10, and spin. Real simple way of figuring out your next bet. And that's a 0. That's a low number, but not the one we wanted. So we'll add up 20 plus 10, $30 bet on first 12. And a lot of times I ask for low numbers and then I get a 0 and I'm like, wait a second, I still lost. So not the 0, but some systems you want the 0. And now we're at 330. Let's go ahead and bet on third 12 for 10. We're picking the one that's the longest since it's hit. And let's go ahead and spin. That's a double 0. And we hit another one of those green guys. And let's repeat that bet and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 22 black. Okay, we'll add 10 plus 10. And that's a $20 bet and spin. Okay, that's a 14 red. Okay, we'll add 20 plus 10 now with $30 bet on third 12. All right, let's see if we can get a high number. We did not. That's a 17 black. So we'll add up 30 plus 20. $50 total now on third 12, and we'll see if we can get a high number on this one. 7 red, that's another loss. Let's look at the last one that hit. That's a $50 loss, so we had 50 and 30, the last two bets. That's an $80 bet, and you can see there's not a single high number in the bet history. So it's been a long time since third 12 has hit. Let's see if we can get one here, and we did not. That's a 19 red. Okay, so we're going to add up 80 and 50 for a 130 total bet on third 12. Okay, we have that out there. We're up 130. We're betting 130, and let's see if we can get a high number here. We almost got to 28, but we did not. So that's a $130 loss. So we're going to add 130 and 80. That's 210. Okay, and here we go. That's a 15 black. We lost. So now we're going to add up 210 plus the previous bet. So that was 130 and 210. So 210, 310 plus 30. That's $340. And now we need to get a high number. Okay, and we're at minus 210 right now. We have a $340 bet on third 12. And if we lose this, we're going to have to add up 340 plus 210. So we need to get a win on the next couple spins. We did not. So now we have to get a win here. So we're going to add up 340 plus 210. That's 340, 440, 540, 550. So let's just use some bigger chips here. And we're going to put 550 on third 12. And then we'll see what's left in our $2,000 bankroll and see where we can go from here. So let's see if we can get a high number win on 550. We did not. So 550 plus 340, 550, 650, 750, 850 plus 40 is 890. Let's see what we have left. And we have in the bankroll, we have enough for one more attempt, guys. So we have exactly $900 left. So we might as well just put 900 on third 12. That's only a few dollars more. Okay, so this is our last attempt on third 12. And even though this is a great system that's making a lot of money and we might get the win here, Todd Hoover's new strategy is much safer, and we're going to get to that here soon. But let's hope that we get a high number here. It's been a long time since we've had a high number, and let's see if we can get it here. And we did not. So we lost our bankroll with Fibonacci 12. So not only this is a great system to make money and cash out, this is not a great system to play all day long. And you saw we ran into a buzzsaw there with Fibonacci 12. Again, a great system, but it's we went forever without hitting a dozen. So now we're going to get to the new system by Todd Hoover, and he says this is much safer and better bet selection. So, and we're using double streets. We're not using dozens. So let's get right to it. And this is called Dormant Streets by Todd Hoover. Here we go. All right, the time is finally here for the Dormant Street Roulette System by Todd Hoover. He says this is much safer than Fibonacci, and you're going to love this and make money at the casino. So let's go ahead and place our next bets, and we start by putting marker bets out there. We're going to mark the double streets that have hit last first, and then we have, we're going through that right now. We have, let's see, the 7 next, the 19, here we go. And then there's your 2 that haven't hit in a while, the first and the last. So we're going to start by betting on those. And again, this is going to have a much safer progression than Fibonacci, and I can't wait to share this with you. So here we go. That's a 26 black, and we lost that one. We're going to repeat that bet. And the first few bets are the same as Fibonacci, and then it changes. So, so the first and second bet are the same, and that's a 4 black. And we got the win. That's a $40 win. So when we get a win, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out the one that hit last, and that would be the 1 through 6, okay? And then we're going to mark the ones that have hit last before that. So let's go ahead and do that. And here we go. We'll mark them right here so that we don't confuse it between that and the other bet. And here we go. The 18's up next. So let's mark that. And then the 25, we're looking at the history here. We have the 9 next, which is already on there, the 7, the 19, and the 00. So in this case, we can choose our next double street. It could either be the 16 or the 1924. Let's choose the 1924. So let's go ahead and do that. And here we go. All right, let's go ahead and spin, and then I'll share with you how this progression is different than Fibonacci. And here we go. That's a 20 black. How about that? $40 win right out of the gate. We're up 60. So again, we're going to take out that one that hit last, and then we're going to mark the bets again. So we have the 20, and you have to make sure that they stay in their groupings as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's mark these things, and here we go. And actually, this one over here needs to be moved because I put it in the wrong spot. So there's the marking on that. We just did the 26, the 11 is next. So let's mark that. And now we know our next one we have to add is the 13, 16. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we have our next bet. But it says $30. Let's make sure that's right. Okay, but it's only 20. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. That's a 22 black. And we lost $20 there, 10 each. So now we do repeat that first bet just like Fibonacci. But again, it doesn't last long like that, but it does start out the same. That's an 18 red. And we got the win, but we'll get to the changes coming up. We're up $80. So let's go ahead now, and we'll see what hit there. We're going to take out the one that hit last, and then we'll mark the rest. So we have 18, 22. Let's mark that. And then we have the 20 that's already on there, the 4. Let's mark that. And after that, we have the 26. So our next street we're going to double street we're going to use is the 710. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. All right, let's see what we get here, and that's a 10 black. Fantastic, another $40 win. We're up $120 already, so let's go ahead now, and we'll take that one out. Then we'll mark again, and let's start with the 18, and then the 22. We're going through the history board here. The 20, the 4, here we go, the 26. So we know the next one we're going to choose is the 710. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, and let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. Let's take those off there. That doesn't look right. So, okay, 10 and 10. Okay, that's just a $20 bet, and here we go. Okay, that's a 30 red. And we lost $20 there, 10 each. So we repeat that bet and spin. And here we go. Okay, that's a 25 red. Okay, so just like Fibonacci, we're going to go ahead and add those together now. But it just starts out this way. It doesn't continue this way. So now we're going to add up 10 plus 10, which is 20 each, and $40 total. Here we go. That is a 12 red. But we got it. Don't worry, we'll get to this progression here in a second. We're just doing really well, and that's okay. We're up 160. Let's take out that one that hit last, and then we'll mark the rest. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so there's a $10 bet, and then we're going to mark the rest. Here we go. So we got to mark the 12 double street first, and then the 25, then the 30, which is already on there. The 10's already on there. The 18's next. The 22 is next. So we know that the 1-4 double street is next for the next bet. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead and spend 10 each, 20 total on these two bets. And here we go again with the Dormant Street Roulette System by Todd Hoover. That's a 31 black. $40 win. All right, we're up $200. So we're going to remove the one that hit last and mark the double streets. So the 12 is up next, the 25, the 30 is already on there, and the 10 is also, And then we have the 18 and then the 22. So we know that the 1 through 6 is the next one. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and let's go ahead and spend 10 each. And here we go. How about that? That's a 2 black. Okay, so we're up 240. That is awesome. So we'll take out the one that hit last, and let's mark them. So we have the 2, which is already on there. Or wait, I took the wrong one out, guys. Excuse me. That was a big sneeze. Okay, so I took the wrong one out there. So we're going to put the bet right here, and then let's mark them. So the 1 4 is out of the equation. The 12 is next. The 25, and these are the double streets that they're in, and then the 30 is already up there, and then the 10, and then the 18 is. So our next double street is going to be 1922. Okay, so let's go ahead and place our bet there, and we're ready to bet again. Here we go. That's a $30 total bet, not 20. And let's go ahead and spend. That's $10 on each on this bet. That's a 33 black. How about that? That's a $40 win. We're up 280. So we'll go ahead now and we'll take out that one that hit last. Okay, and then we're going to mark them. So let's mark that one first, and then we have the 2. The 31's already up there. So we have the 12 next, and then the 25. So we know we're betting on the 13, 16. So let's go ahead and do that. And these ones are going to be right next to each other. Okay, let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. That's a 14 red. Wow, another $40 win. We're up 320. Okay, doing incredible with Dormant Streets by Todd Hoover today. And we're going to take out that one that hit last, and then we're going to go ahead and mark it. And then the next one to mark is the 33, the 2, the 31, which is already on there, and the 12. So we know we're betting on the 25, 28. And let's take the marker bets off, and we'll have these right next to each other as well. This is a $20 total bet, 10 on each. And we haven't even got into the new progression yet because we keep winning. And we did it again, but don't worry, we'll get to it. We're up $360, doing incredible. And we'll take out the one that hit last, and then we immediately mark it. Okay, and then the 14's next, and then the 33, okay, and then the 2. So we know the next one we're betting on is the 710. All right, here we go. Okay, that's $10 on each, and let's spin. That's a 27 red. That is crazy. We just keep winning, and we're up $400 now. And we'll take out that one that hit last, the 27, and mark it. And then we'll mark the, let's see, the 23, and then the 14, and the 33. So we know the next one we're betting on is the 1-4. Okay, so let's do that. And there's our $20 bet. Let's see if we can get a low number here. Oh my goodness, we just keep winning every spin with this. Now we're at $440, and we're going to go ahead and take that out, mark it, and then let's mark the rest. So we have the 27, the 23, the 14, and then the 33. So let's see. So that means that the 33 is our next bet. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. And that's should be, yeah, that's just 10 on each, 20 total. So let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. That's a 6 black. Okay, there's a loss. So we're going to repeat that first bet of $20. Again, that's 10 on each, and let's spin. And these first two bets are going to be the same as Fibonacci, but then it changes. So we'll get to that. That's a 14 red. Okay, so that's we lost at 10 the second time. So we add up the first two bets of 10 and 10. That's 20 each. And here we go. Okay, that's a 35 black. And we got to it. We cannot get to this new progression, but don't worry, I'm going to cover it. We're at 480 though. So I'll cover everything before we're finished. We'll take that one out. Okay, and then we'll add a marker bet. And let's see, we have the 14, and then the 6, and then the 3, the 27. So the next bet's going to be the 1922. Okay, there we go, and let's spin. Surely we're going to go past 2 losses with just 12 numbers here. But either way, I'm going to share everything with you. We just keep winning. And now we're at $520. This is crazy. And crazy good, I guess, right? So let's take that out. We'll mark it. And then we have the 35 to mark next, the 14, and then the 6. And we know our next bet's the 25-28. So let's go ahead and do that and spin. All right, here we go. This bet selection is really working well, and that's a 27 red. It's almost like we can't lose with it, and we're at $560. So we'll take out the one that hit last, mark it, and then go to the 24, and then the 35, and then the 14. So our next bet is the 1-4. Okay, let's go ahead and spin. All right, we'll get to this progression, guys. We just need a couple losses. That's a 32 red. Okay, we lost, so we'll repeat that bet and spin, just like Fibonacci. The first 2 are just like Fibonacci. And that's a 19 red. Okay, now we add up 10 plus 10, just like Fibonacci. And we're at 20 each. Let's go ahead and spin. But after this, when we lose, it's going to be a different progression. That's a 31 black. Okay, so now we are at 20 each. So what we're going to do is 20 plus 10 is 30. I'm sorry, we go one more like Fibonacci, and then we adjust it. So we'll be at 30 each. And let's spin. But remember, we went 10, 10, 20, 30. And that's a 10 black. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let everybody in on this, just so you guys know, because we got the win again, and we're up $600. Once you get past 30, you add up the 2 previous bets, and then you subtract a unit. But we'll get to that. I want to make sure you guys know what we're doing here, and then it gets a little safer, and you have more progressions to use. So we're up $600. Let's go ahead and remove that last one that hit, and here we go. Okay, and then we need to mark that one. Okay, and then we have, after we mark the 10, we're going to mark the 31, the 19, and we're going through the history board here. And then let me mark it correctly. There we go. And then the 32 is already there, 27. So we know we're going to bet on 13, 16 next. So let's go ahead and do that and spend $20 total bet. So again, you go 10, 10, 20, 30, and then you add up the 2 previous bets and subtract a unit. So that's a win there. We're up $640, and we're going to go ahead and remove that one that hit last. And then we're going to go ahead and we need to mark that one. And then we'll mark the 10, the 31, the 19, and we know our next bet's the 25-28. Let's go ahead and spin. And this has been doing unbelievable. So it goes 10, 10, 20, 30, and then after that you add up the 2 previous bets and subtract a unit. So we're going to repeat that bet there and spin. And here we go. That's a 33 black. Okay, we lost. So let's go. Maybe we can go through the progression this time. So 10, 10, and 20, now 20. Okay, and then spin, and then we go 30, and then after that we add up the 2 previous bets and subtract a unit. That's a 21 red. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now, and we're going to go from 20 to 30, and spin. So the next bet would be 30 plus 20 minus a unit. But we got the win. So hopefully, I'm glad I could explain that at the end. We didn't even have to use it. And he said you can use Fibonacci with this if you would like, but that's his modification to this. And it made $680 profit in 15 minutes. So thank you, Todd Hoover, for sending this in, and really appreciate it. This is the Dormant Street Roulette system. Thank you to everyone that's been sending all the fantastic systems in lately. That's what it's all about. Remember to send those to roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. And we do this every single day in the search for the best roulette system possible. If you're enjoying that search with me, please like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep growing this community of people that love roulette. This is the Roulette Master. And have a great day, everybody.